Hello and welcome everyone. This is Type V3 with a Transformers review of the TFCON 2017 exclusive Mastermind Creations Reformatted CALIDUS Asterisk mode, a third-party representation of Hot Rod in his current Lost Light color scheme from the IDW comic series. CALIDUS takes the form of a slick Cybertronian car. It's got a giant spoiler, chunky wheels, an arrow-like front end with a low and streamlined profile. The sharp, well-defined details atop the smooth, curved surfaces ensure that this alt mode doesn't stray far, if at all, from its source material. I think the color layout is nicely balanced, not leaving any one area in a sea of a single hue. The silver accents add a touch of premiumness to the finish, and I love how the orange canopy pops. I do have two gripes though. Firstly, I wish the tires weren't purple. I would have taken gray, black, or even blue, anything to help them stand out more. Secondly, when viewed from the rear, the robot mode fists are clearly visible. Otherwise, this is a pretty great vehicle mode. Obviously, with wheels that large up front, CALIDUS has exceptional rolling ability. Beyond that, there's nothing else this 6-inch long car can do, so with that said, let's transform it. The transformation on CALIDUS is much easier than you might expect, especially considering this comes from the often complicated third-party transformer realm. Breaking it down to its fundamentals, you're just unfolding the limbs and snapping the chest in place. The hardest part is actually just swinging the chest plate around the waist piece. After that, you've got a couple tabs to lock in the arms, and then you're more or less done. CALIDUS has quite a handsome figure in robot form. Like with the alt mode, I absolutely adore the color placement. It's well balanced, and the sharp lines cast dark shadows to highlight the toy's meticulous sculpting. Additionally, the thin-winged backpack keeps his profile tight, and the metallic blue eyes are just a gorgeous addition to an already fantastic head sculpt. Sure, the sides of the torso are a little bare, and the lower legs could be thicker, but the hot rod look has definitely been captured here. Although, I will admit I'm not a big fan of the figure's default stance. Because the toy lacks an ab joint as well as having large spacing in the ratcheting hip joints, CALIDUS ends up looking more stiff rather than heroic. In fact, it makes him look much taller than his 7-inch height would suggest. This is just one of my personal gripes though, and may very well be easily ignored. For accessories, the figure includes a gun, a bow, and a secondary head with a slight grin. I personally just use this head sculpt because it carries more personality. The weapons are fairly straightforward in their use, and CALIDUS has no problems holding them. In vehicle mode, the gun stores on the roof while the bow mounts underneath the front end, giving a slightly altered look to the car. For articulation, there's a ball socket neck and a waist swivel. There's universal shoulders with an extending hinge. There's a bicep swivel, double-jointed elbows, ball socket wrists, and articulated fingers. Hips are on universal joints with largely spaced outwards ratchets. There's a thigh swivel, single hinge at the knee, along with a somewhat limited ankle rocker and toe bend. Articulation is decent overall. Super dynamic poses are out of the question, though. Good, period, is probably the best way I could sum up my thoughts on the Mastermind Creations CALIDUS Asterisk mode. It looks like IDW's Lost Light Hot Rod in both forms, and the surprisingly straightforward transformation ensures that this is a very easy pick up and play with sort of toy. If you're a fan of Transformers who collects based on character representation, then CALIDUS is a no-brainer. On the other hand, if engineering tricks and toy design dictate your collecting habits, then turn your interests elsewhere because I found the simplicity here to border on being boring. Especially considering that prior releases within MMC's own reformatted toy line offered more interestingly engineered toys at a similar price point. It's like I said before, CALIDUS is a good toy that'll display nicely on a shelf. It's just not one that I found to be very impressive. But that's all from me. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next review.